Super Falcons head coach Justin Madugu has announced his 24-woman squad for the Women's Africa Cup of Nations 2024, taking place in July 2025. This list has answered a lot of questions, but has also raised some questions from the fans. In this list, we have returning faces, we have regular faces, and then we have new faces as well. We are having 11 players who will be representing Nigeria at the WAFCON for the very first time. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the team, I'm going to talk about the pros, the cons, and answer some of the questions that fans have had since the announcement was made. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already subscribed, so that you can continue to enjoy our top-notch Nigerian football content. Let's get into it. My name is AyoT and you're watching EaglesTracker, the home of Nigerian football. We are diving deep into the Super Falcons 24-woman squad for the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations taking place in July 2025. And the list is as follows. We have 3 goalkeepers, Chioma Okafor of Paris FC in France. Of course, she's leaving the team. We're waiting to see what team she's going to join. We have Tochukwu Oluwaseyi of Shulat FC in Saudi Arabia, and we have Rachel Onachukwu of Nasarawa Amazons in Nigeria. The defenders, Osinacho Ohale of Pachuca in Mexico, Shukura Toladipo of AS Roma in Italy, Michelle Alozie of Houston Dash in the USA, Ashley Plumter of Etihad Ladies in Saudi Arabia, Sikiratu Isa of Nasarawa Amazons in Nigeria, Oluwatosin Dimei of Galatasaray in Turkey, and Miracle Usani of Edo Queens in Nigeria. For the midfielders, we have Captain Rashidat Ajibade, formerly of Atletico de Madrid. We're waiting to see what team she's going to join. We have Halimatu Wainde of FC Rosengard in Sweden. We have Deborah Abiodun of Dallas Trinity in the USA. Jennifer Echegini of Paris Saint-Germain in France. Tony Payne of Everton in England. Christy Uchebe of SL Benfica in Portugal. And then for the forwards, we have Francisca Odega of Etihad Ladies in Saudi Arabia. Chinwendu Ehezuo of Pachuca in Mexico. Ifeoma Onumono of Montpellier HSC in France. Esther Okoronkwo of AFC Toronto in Canada. We have Omorin Solababajide of UDCA Tenerife in Spain. We have Folashade Jamilusi of Liaoning Shenyang in China. We have Chioma Okafor of the University of Connecticut in the USA. And of course, wrapping up the team, we have Agbabola Asisat Oshoala of Bay FC in the USA. So, talking about the 11 WAFCON debutants, Rachel Onachukwu of Nasarawa Amazons will be going to the WAFCON with Nigeria for the very first time, so congratulations to her. Shukurat will also be going to the WAFCON for the very first time. Isa Sikiratu will be going for the first time. Miracle Usani representing Nigeria at any major competition, senior level, for the first time. Deborah Abiodun will be going to her first WAFCON. Of course, she played at the Women's World Cup in 2023 and she played at the Olympics in 2024, but this is her first WAFCON. We have Esther Okoronkwo also going to her first WAFCON despite playing at the World Cup and the Olympics. Omorin Solababajide going to her first major competition. She wasn't at the World Cup in 2023. She wasn't at the Olympics, so congratulations to her. Folashade Jamilusi will be going to her first WAFCON. Jennifer Echegini also going to her first WAFCON despite being at the 2023 World Cup and scoring the only goal for the Super Falcons at the 2024 Paris Olympics. And then Chioma Okafor. In fact, this is Chioma Okafor's first call-up in general, and she will be going to the WAFCON. So let us talk about the players individually and answer some of the questions that you guys might have. Chioma Okafor, number 1 goalkeeper, one of the best goalkeepers in the world, by far the best goalkeeper in Africa. Of course, she was going to be in this team. Probably one of the first names on the team sheet. If not Chiamaka, then who? I don't think there can be any questions asked about her inclusion in this squad. Now, Tochukwu Oluwaseyi, veteran goalkeeper, experienced goalkeeper, has won AFCONs in the past, has played and been part of the squad at different World Cups. And some people might be asking, why is she still in the squad? You know, she's past her best. She's not on the rise. Maybe this slot could have been given to a younger goalkeeper. In recent squads, we've seen the likes of Linda Jiwako get called up. So some might have thought that Linda might get the opportunity to be part of the WAFCON squad. But Justin Madugu and the NFF have gone in a different direction, selecting Tochukwu Oluwaseyi for the WAFCON. And I think that this might come down to a few things like her experience, her tournament experience. You know, we have Chiamaka, who of course is our trusted number 1, but going into a tournament like this, knock on wood, nothing goes wrong. But if Chiamaka should get hurt, if Chiamaka should get injured, if she gets a red card, maybe they do not trust a newbie to come into the team and be able to do a job. And Tochukwu Oluwaseyi has been a reliable backup. Some people might say that she's not as fantastic as Chiamaka. That wouldn't be a lie. But in the past, every time that she has been called upon, she has actually been able to deliver and do a good job and not make errors like that. So I think that this could be the reasoning for why she's there. Now, Rachel Unachuku, another player that has raised questions. She plays for Nasarawa Amazons. Is she the best goalkeeper out of Nigeria? That is subject to debate. She wasn't in the recent squad, so people would also have expected that maybe some of the people that played in our recent games might be the ones to go, but the NFF and Justin Madugu have gone for her. I can't speak too much about that one, but I think that she's most likely not going to get any game time. And if at all she gets to play, we have to hope and trust that she can deliver for us. Now, going into the defenders, we have our trusted Osinachi Ohale, multiple AFCON winner, played at multiple World Cups, one of the most reliable names in the defense. Now, of course, on the older side, so this may be her last WAFCON, may not be her last WAFCON, but she's going to be one of the leaders from the back. With her experience in the center of the defense, we know what we are going to get from Osinachi Ohale. The aggression, the concentration, the composure, the physicality, the aerial threats. Of course, Osinachi Ohale had to be in this squad. I don't think anybody can have any debates, questions, or doubts about that one. We also have Shukurat Oladipo going to her first WAFCON. Oladipo has come through the youth ranks, joined AS Roma in Italy, and now is getting a chance to represent Nigeria at the WAFCON. She might not start, she probably would be on the bench, but I think that Oladipo has earned this opportunity. She's amongst the growing breed, the young contingent of Nigerian Super Falcons players, and she will be a solid option from the bench if or when she is called upon. I don't think many questions can be asked about her inclusion. I think she has earned this opportunity. We have Michelle Alozie for Houston Dash, of course, brought into the team by former head coach Randy Waldrum some number of years ago. They converted her to a right back, despite the fact that she plays mostly as a striker or as a winger for her club, Houston Dash. And of course, she was going to be part of this team. If there's one thing that Alozie for, she was the one that was stepped on by Lauren James at the 2023 Women's World Cup, and she has become a key player for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. We also have Ashley Plumter, our singular Oyinbo wall in the Super Falcons defense. Of course, she was going to be there. Plumter can play from center back or can play from left back. We have to wait and see what exactly Justin Madugu is going to do with her. She hasn't been part of the team recently, so we're going to hope that she can come in and slot in, with ease. The only game that she has played for Nigeria since the 2023 Women's World Cup, I believe, was the friendly against France. She was injured, so she missed out on the 2024 Olympics. So we know what we get from Ashley. Composure, intelligence, very disciplined, very high quality football. We just have to wait and see how Justin Madugu uses her in the squad. We have Sikiratu Issa of the Nasarawa Amazons in Nigeria. She has been in and out of the squad in recent times. Whenever home-based contingents are called up, she tends to be one of those players that's getting called up. She is most likely going to be on the bench in this tournament, but we hope that when she's called upon, she's able to deliver. I will say that she's someone that has earned her chance, especially being that she has been in and out of the squad. I'm not too surprised to see her there. We have Oluwatosin Dimeyin, our young centre back who now plays in Turkey. Dimeyin is one of those players that Randy Waldrum saw playing in Nigeria during his time as head coach and brought her up to the Super Falcons. She, of course, played for Nigeria at the youth levels as well, and she has been a solid player for Nigeria since she's coming. Initially, when she was brought into the team, you could see her youth, you could see her inexperience, but she has continued to grow and continue to improve as a football player, and I'm hoping that she will be able to shine for us at this tournament. And then wrapping up the defenders, we have Miracle Usani of Edo Queens. Miracle Usani, a little bit of a controversial selection, I must say. She can play from left back, and she is one of those rising players in the NWFL, that's Nigerian Women's Football League. Although many people might not necessarily have expected her to be in this squad, especially with the omission of a player like Rafiat Timiran, who just won the second division in England with London City Lionesses. Miracle Usani personally surprised me. I thought Rafiat would have gotten a call-up, or maybe even a Glory Ogbonna, who has been part of the squad and was part of the 2023 Women's World Cup squad. So a little bit of a shock there. She's probably going to be on the bench. I have to think so. And Ashley Plumter might start from left back at the tournament. But it will be interesting to see how Justin Madugu uses her. And of course, it will be interesting to see how she performs if and when she gets her opportunity to play. Midfielders. First name on the team sheet, Rasheedat Ajibade. Of course, she's the captain of the team. She won the WAFCON in 2018. Then she was a beat pass player. She was a young kid on the block. And now she's coming as the leader of the team. She wants to win the WAFCON. She wants to lift that trophy. She wants to lead her girls, her team, to the WAFCON trophy. She wants to help Nigeria to reclaim the crown as the best team in Africa. So no doubt Rasheedat was going to be there. This season was a little bit of a mixed bag for her, dealing with injuries upon injuries. And of course, now we know that she's leaving her club. We're waiting to see what team she officially signs for. But I'm expecting Ajibade to be a key player for Nigeria, just like she was at the last WAFCON. She was in the team of the tournament at the last WAFCON. She was the joint highest goal scorer at the last WAFCON. She scored the goal that qualified us for the 2023 Women's World Cup. So I'm expecting more of the same from Mommy Gio, from our Jesus girl, the girl with the blue hair, Rasheedat Ajibade. Halimatu Ayinde is also in the midfield. No doubt about what Ayinde brings. Intelligence, tactical awareness, solidity in the midfield, tackles, interceptions. One of the first names on the team sheet. Important player for Nigeria. We missed her at the Olympics in 2024, and I'm happy to see her back in the squad. We also have Deborah Abiodun, aka the Nigerian Kante. Covers a lot of ground, makes a lot of tackles. One of the very intelligent young players that we have in the team, and no doubt she deserves her place in the squad. Jennifer Echegini is also there, a player for Paris Saint-Germain, one of our best attacking midfield players. Her creativity, her techers, her technique, her poise in possession, and then her long-range shooting as well. Very, very quality player. Watched her play for Nigeria since she initially came into the squad, and she has just continued to improve and become a very, very good player. So no surprise to see her as part of this team. Tony Payne is also in the midfield, and of course, another player that is a regular in the team and one that we're not surprised to see in the team. Tony Payne, another creative option that we have in our midfield, and it will be interesting to see how Justin Madugu uses both Tony Payne and Jennifer Echegini. Does he play the both of them? Does he play one as a starter, one on the bench? Does he move Tony Payne out wide? Ajibade probably is going to play out wide, even though she's not as a midfielder. So Justin Madugu has some important selections to make there. And wrapping up the midfielders list, we have Christy Ucheibe, perennial champion with SL Benfica, going to her second WAFCON, but of course hoping to win her first WAFCON. We know Ucheibe covers every blade of grass on the field. We know the energy that she plays with, the charisma. Our number 10, Ucheibe, is one of the players that has to be on the team, and of course there cannot be any questions asked. I think the midfield position is the place where all the selections that were made were probably the selections that were expected by Nigerian fans. And then moving over to the forwards, we have Chinwendu Ihezuo. I know Chinwendu is a player that divides opinions. Some people don't like her, while some people like her. At club level, she scores goals relatively often, but the last memory that Nigerian fans had of her at the Olympics, she missed a number of chances that people felt like she should have taken. But I still believe that the energy that she has with her press, the energy that she has on and off the ball, and then we have to give it to her. She scores goals. I know that people are unhappy with her because of the last outing, like I referenced, but a player like her, even if she's not starting, off the bench can be a quality player for the Super Falcons. So I understand the reservations that people have, but I also think that she deserves her place in this squad. We also have Ifeoma Onumonu, one of the most serious, most professional players that we have in the Super Falcons, player for Montpellier in France. A lot of people think she's too slow, but coaches that have worked with her think that she's not as slow as people say she is. And even players on the Super Falcons have said that she's actually quite a quick player. She's just tall and leggy, so she covers a lot of blades of grass with few steps, and people think that she's very slow. But one thing that they praise her for is her professionalism, her seriousness. She is somebody that always wants to know what she needs to do and does her best to stick to instructions and play as his best for the team. She can play as a striker, she can play out wide, provides a lot of quality. She assisted the goal that Ajibade scored to qualify for the 2023 Women's World Cup. So this is not her first WAFCON rodeo. And even though she splits and divides opinions, I believe that she has earned her place in the squad. At even an older age, she's one of the experienced players and should be one of the leaders in the team, if I have to guess. We also have Esther Okoronkwo of AFC Toronto in Canada. Esther can play as a number 9. She can also play out wide. One of the most technical players, one of the fantastic shot takers that we have in the team. Brilliant left foot, brilliant player, and of course, she earned her place in this team. The only criticism that I can have of Esther, is that sometimes she can look uninterested, and we don't necessarily like it when a player looks uninterested. But she's a very quality player. I think she'll probably start on the bench, but it will be interesting to see how he uses her. Does he start her up front, maybe, or does he play her as a substitute for Ajibade on the right side of our attack? Nevertheless, she is going to be a player that can provide some high quality moments for the Super Falcons at this tournament. We also have Francisca Odega. Now, Francisca Odega, if you watch women's football, if you watch Nigerian women's football, you know that name. She has played for Nigeria under 17, under 20 Super Falcons. She has been a Super Falcons player for many, many, many years. And some people think that she's past her best. Honestly, personally, I was slightly surprised to see her there, but considering the fact that she was also part of the last squad that faced Cameroon in the friendly, I wasn't too surprised that she made the final list for this WAFCON. Some people feel like that slot could have gone to a younger player. You look at some of the players that were unnamed in the team, like Gift Monday, and people say, oh, why is Odega there and Monday is not there? Odega doesn't have the legs anymore. My thinking has to be that Odega is a winger and we do not have that many wing options. I would expect her to be on the bench, but she's an option that can come in from the wings, and she provides us with a little bit of experience. Not a little bit, quite a lot of experience, actually. And that's, know-how from a senior player. So a little bit surprised, but not too surprised. Omorinsola Babajide going to her first ever international major tournament. She's excited, and she's a player that Nigerians also should be excited about. I see Omorinsola playing from that left wing, combining very well with our striker and our right winger. She's a quality player. She has a good shot on her. She's very technical and very intelligent, has been playing her football in Spain for a couple of years now. And I'm excited to see what she can do for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Definitely my dark horse for our best player at this tournament. We have Folashade Ijamilusi, a young player that has recently broken out and has started playing abroad in China. She tore up the league in Nigeria, and it is not a big surprise that she makes this squad. She's probably going to be on the bench, allowing the more senior players to show themselves. But if or when she is called upon, she is someone that can provide quality to our attack, and I am not mad or surprised that she makes this list. Now, Asisat Oshoala, a player once again that divides opinions. Some of us look at Oshoala and say 6-time African Player of the Year, prolific goal scorer for Barcelona at her prime, and she has slowed down a little bit. Maybe she cannot play 90 minutes anymore. But for those that are asking how Oshoala can make this team, so some people that were saying, when is Oshoala going to retire? I say you cannot have a player like Asisat Oshoala and not take her to a tournament like this. Now, she does not have to be a key player like she has been for us in the past. Even at the last WAFCON, she got injured 20 minutes into the first game, and it allowed a player like Ajibade to step up and be the leader and be the top goal scorer. So Oshoala doesn't have to start every game, doesn't have to be somebody that we just rely upon for all the goals, but she's a leader. Everybody refers to her as a leader. She's someone that is going to spur the players on. And even though some Nigerians are very critical of her these days, she is someone that still strikes fear into the heart of opponents. When Oshoala is on the field, opponents have to game plan for her because she has that quality. Yes, with age, with injuries, you can get slower. You can lose your first step. You can become a little less sharp. But when she gets an opportunity, she is going to take it. You can trust that about Oshoala. She scores goals for a living. And if she gets a good opportunity at the WAFCON, she will score goals. So for me, I tell people that are doubting, I don't understand how you do not take Oshoala to a tournament like this. So I am fully in support of it. She's a quality player, and if she gets the opportunity, she will deliver and she will perform for the Super Falcons. And then finally, the last player, but not the least player on this list, is Chioma Okafor, a player for the University of Connecticut in the USA. Now, Chioma Okafor is someone that a lot of people might not be familiar with. She's Malawian born. She plays her college football in the USA. So Justin Madugu has taken one from the playbook of former coach Randy Waldrum, selecting a player that is still in the college system in the USA. Just to give you guys some background on who she is and to tell you a little bit of maybe what she will be able to bring into the team. She was nominated last year for the Mark Herman Trophy. Now, this is a trophy that Jennifer Echegini won in 2023. The trophy is given to the best college player in the USA. She was a semi-finalist among the top 19 players nominated for that trophy. So it tells you that she has some quality if she's being recognized in the college system in the USA. Now, this past year, 2024, she played 23 matches for her college and she scored 13 goals, leading her conference and also her team with the most goals. And she also was the highest assist maker on her team with 4 assists. She's a good penalty taker as well. She can play from the flank. She can play as a number 9 if need be. I'm not going to hype her up and say she's the next Echegini or she's the next Oshoala or the next Ajibade or anything like that. But what I will tell you is that she's a good quality player, even though she's only at the college level. And she'll probably come into the team and be a substitute player, be a bit part player, but she's someone that if she needs or she gets an opportunity, she might just be able to stamp her name in the hearts of Nigerian players. So it is going to be an interesting one to see how the coach uses her, and if she even gets any playing time at all. She might not get that much playing time. It would depend on the situations of the games, of the tournament as a whole, but she is one that could be a key player for the Super Falcons as time goes on when she turns pro and continues to progress in her career. Now, let us talk about the 3 biggest names that have missed out on this tournament. We have Gift Monday, we have Uchenna Kanu, and we have Rafiat Imuro. I'll start with Rafiat Imuro. She is a left back or left winger. She plays for London City Lionesses. She just won the 2nd division and got promoted to WSL in England. And honestly, I would have expected her to be in this team as one of the defenders. Miracle Usani was obviously preferred by the coach to her. So we have to wait and see how Miracle performs. Imura doesn't have the best defensive, instinct. I will say that. That's why at club level, they use her more as an attacking player. But she has played in defense for Nigeria in the past and she has done a decent enough job. She is way more experienced at the highest level than Miracle Usani. She has been part of this team. This is not going to be her first rodeo. So I was a bit surprised to see her miss out. And, my heart, feels for her a little bit. But I'm sure that she'll be part of the squad in the future. We have Uchenna Kanu. Of course, Uchenna Kanu scored a crucial goal for Nigeria against Australia in the 2023 Women's World Cup. And she has been a regular in Super Falcons team for a while until she suffered a serious injury. She recently came back from the injury and has been having her minutes quite limited at Louisville in the USA. So while she is somebody that can offer a goal threat for the Super Falcons, I just think that unfortunately she has to miss out considering that the form is not on her side and she just recently came back from injury and has been playing limited minutes. And also when you look at the fact that she's a number 9 and we have Esther Okoronkwo, we have Asisa Oshoala, we have Ifeoma Onumono and Ihezuo in this squad, taking another number 9 we might say is a little bit too much. We also have Jamilusi who can play number 9 as well. So I can understand why she might have missed out on this one. And then Gift Monday, maybe the biggest, miss from this list. Gift Monday, playing for Washington Spirits in the USA. She had a good season for Tenerife in Spain. She moved to the USA and she has been scoring goals. I think she scored about 4 or 5 goals in the number of games that she has played so far in the NWSL. I'm a bit surprised that Ijamilusi, for example, was preferred to Gift Monday. Maybe even the fact that Ihezuo was preferred to Gift Monday is surprising, but the coach has gone for these other players. Gift Monday is primarily best as a number 9, but she can also play from the flank if you ask her to. I would have thought that she will bring in much needed versatility, but for whatever reason, I don't know, there's something that maybe the coaches don't see in her or don't like about her. If you remember, she was a standby player for the Olympics, but also did not make the final squad. I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. Maybe there's just something about the way she plays or about the way she trains that the coaches don't really like. But I would have thought that she would make this list. I'm not going to use the same, we have enough strikers already and that's why she's not in the squad. Because I think she could have been one of the strikers called up. But the coaches just don't see something in her. Or they see something in her that they don't like. So I commiserate with Gift Monday. She's fully fit. She just wasn't called up. If one of the attackers gets injured, I think she'll probably be the one caught up as a replacement. But I'm not wishing injury on anybody. And it's rather unfortunate that she would have to miss out on this competition and this tournament and her opportunity to play in another WAFCON for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. So those are my thoughts on the players that were caught up and, of course, some of the players that were not called up. Let me know your own thoughts in the comments. As always, The Super Falcons will kick off the WAFCON with a game against Tunisia on July the 6th, 5 p.m. Nigerian time. Then they face Botswana July the 10th, 8 p.m. Nigerian time, and wrap up the group stage on July the 13th against Algeria at 8 p.m. Nigerian time. If you're able to make it to Morocco, please go and support the girls. If you're not able to make it to Morocco, make sure you watch Chedamon online, and of course follow EaglesTracker for all the updates from the WAFCON 2024. The team is going to be getting ready by playing 2 friendly matches, one against Portugal on July the 23rd and then another against Ghana on July the 29th. So make sure you stick with us to enjoy updates from those games as well. I look forward to watching the team. I'm going to be cheering them on. I'm going to be supporting them as always. And I'm going to be keeping you guys updated on everything Super Falcons and everything WAFCON 2024. We will preview each game before it happens. We'll talk about each game after it happens. And we will be hoping to cheer our team on to Mission X, the 10th WAFCON title. Thank you very much. Please make sure you like this video before you leave. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And I will see you on the next one. My name is AyoT. This is EaglesTracker, the home of Nigerian football.